Welcome to India. The first thing you should recognize upon your arrival is our national flag. We are located in South Asia, which is highlighted for you in the green. At the south of our country, we are surrounded by the waters of the Indian Ocean. This second map shows you a breakdown of each state here in India. The three main ethnic groups of our great country are Indo-Aryan with 72% of the population, Dravidian with 22% of the population, and the other 3% is a variety of ethnicities. We have a sovereign socialist democratic republic with a parliamentary system of government with a breakdown for you in this chart. Within India, we have 5 religions that are noteworthy with the population, and they are Hindu taking 80% of the population, the Muslim religion taking 13% of the population, the Christian religion taking 2% of the population, and the Sikha, along with a variety of other religions, each both taking 2% of our population. The video just shown, along with the pictures appearing on the screen, are examples of the dress and extravagant attire worn by the women of India. The men will generally wear the lungi, dhoti, or kurta, along with a unisex outfit, the salwar kameez. You will find this style of clothing in our traditional and smaller cities, but in cities like Mumbai, you will find a more European look of fashion along with the traditional clothing of India. Here in India, we have one of the greatest food cultures in the world. We are known for having one of the richest and oldest food cultures throughout the world. Our food is recognized for its spice, diversity, and uniqueness. We have 3 main dishes that are not only popular here in India, but around the world as well. They are turmeric, basmati rice, and papadam. There are 28 states in India, and each has its own cuisine and own style of preparing their food. One dish, though, that seems to remain constant throughout all the regions and states is spice. Most Indians prefer the Indian type of rice, which is long and slender in grains. As we said before in the 3 popular dishes at the beginning, the basmati rice is the favorite type of rice throughout the country. The basmati rice is aged to give it more of a flavor and has a slightly nutty fragrance. For drinks, Indians' religions discourage the use of alcohol, so very few, if any, Indians drink it. The most prominent drinks in India are milk, yogurt drinks, and buttermilk, which are had with almost every meal they eat. One of the most beautiful places in the world to come see architecture is India. Each work of architecture has ties to the time period it is from and why it looks the way it does. In southern India, the building of beautiful temples really flourished throughout the south. There are 6 types of architecture that can be found quite easily in India, which are colonial, Indo-Islamic, ancient, cave, rock-cut, and temple architecture. The Dutch, Portuguese, and French presence can be found in the colonial architecture. In the Indo-Islamic time period of architecture, you can see the profoundness of Muslim influence in their buildings built. In the ancient architecture is as old as civilian itself. When we talk about our cave architecture, we can date it back to 3rd century BC. The most profound religious architecture can be seen in the carefully sculpted rock-cut architecture. In ancient India, temple architecture had a very standard development and is seen in most religions of the country and most prominent type of architecture in India. Along with our great food and beautiful architecture, India has many places that tourists love to come and visit when they come to our country. The Harmandir Sahib, also better known as the Golden Temple. According to the Sikha religion, it is considered the most religious spot to the people of this religion. Its second level was added with an all-gold covering when it went under renovation in the 19th century. Our next hot spot to talk about is Jaisalmer, which can be found in the right by the border of Pakistan, with the yellow sandstone and the construction of its beautiful walls give it the nickname of the Golden City. The population of the city remains high, but tourists do not seem to mind it and still visit in high numbers to come see the Golden City. When we talked about architecture, we mentioned rock cut and cave architecture. The most beautiful and most visited by tourists is the Ajanta Caves. Dates all the way back to 2nd century BC. These beautiful caves were left untouched for over 1,000 years. In 1819, they were rediscovered when a British hunting party came across them. Since it was vacated for so long, it helped keep everything inside in great condition. The next up, the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world, is Varanasi. It rests on the bank of the Ganges River and shows us the best of what India has to offer and can simply just take your breath away if you let it. The number one place for our tourists, though, is the Taj Mahal. It's absolutely spectacular with an immense mausoleum of white marble. It was built in the memory of Emperor Shah Jahan's wife. This huge white marble dome building is just as beautiful inside as it is from afar. Bollywood. No, not Hollywood, but Bollywood. The Indian version of Hollywood is Bollywood. It is not as glamorous as the American city, but we can see many parallels between the two. The Lumiere brothers in 1896 introduced India to the art of cinema. In 1913, the silent era became the first full-length movie to be played in the country, and the birth of Bollywood was born. The golden era of Indian movies came during the 1950s when India was fighting for its independence. Many movies made in this era related to the social issues of the time and were to educate the moviegoers of all the issues. In today's technology-advanced world, with home streaming along with other things, the cinema and Bollywood remain the most prominent way of entertainment throughout the country. Now, big-name companies within the country have invested into Bollywood to either help make or distribute these movies to make them growing and better cinema corporation. Of course, to go along with entertainment like any country, there are sports. India has 5 prominent sports, which are cricket, soccer, wrestling, basketball, and motorsports. Cricket is the most popular sport in the entire country. Some of the best cricket players come out of India, with many players from India holding records within the sport. India spends more money on cricket than any other country in the world, along with having the 2 highest paid cricket players in the world within the country. India has a very strong following in soccer, but do not have a good team by FIFA standards, which they are currently ranked 139th in the world. The surprising thing about India having such a strong following in the sport is that there's only a select few stadiums that actually FIFA approved to play soccer in. Oddly enough, the American sport of wrestling has a strong interest in India, especially the youth who love the WWE. Many teenagers grow up wanting to one day become wrestlers, but have 0 current Indians in the WWE. Growing rapidly in India is basketball. Both boys and girls love playing the sport, and India has 2 young stars who are brothers, Sim and Tanveer Bhular, who are both over 7 feet tall and are attracting the top collegiate coaches from America for their services. Motorsports being the most uncommon of the list. It has a growing fan base, but many people from India do not take part in the sport. In 1971, the Federation of Motorsports Club of India was founded and has been a growing sport since then. Well, we hope we see you soon. We have much to offer you between our entertainment, our beautiful landscape, the amazing food, and the loving people of India who will welcome you with open arms as soon as you enter the great country of India.